Hi, I'm Chris Kowalczyk and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to take a classic dish, spruce it up a little bit and make it a little more modern. What are we going to have? Roasted tomato soup and smoky provolone and bacon grilled cheese sandwiches. So where do we begin? We're going to start with 2 pounds of fresh tomatoes. I like to try to do something right off the vine fresh because it's really going to maximize our taste. What we're going to do is just take the vine right off the tomatoes here, and we're just going to simply quarter the tomatoes. Something nice and easy. You know what, quarters might even be a little bit big. Why don't we even take it down one more size and do it into 8s. We're going to put it right in our bowl over here. Nice and easy, kind of rustic, because we want to roast them, so we're going to want to make sure that these cook down nice and slow. We're going to get a lot of flavor out of these tomatoes. With our tomatoes in the bowl, we're also going to add 1 sliced onion, 2 whole cloves of garlic. We're going to do a little sugar, a little salt, a little pepper. But first we need a roasting pan. Over here I've already got a roasting pan. We're going to mix in our 2 pounds of tomatoes, our 1 sliced onion, 2 cloves of garlic. We're going to add about 4 to 6 ounces of olive oil. Whatever olive oil you use, extra virgin, regular olive oil, it's up to you. We're just going to put a little olive oil right on here, make sure everything gets coated nice and even. From there, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar. I like to go with the sugar in a raw. We're going to put it right up in here, adds a little bit more flavor. Mix this all together in our roasting pan. It's important at this point that you make sure all of the vegetables get coated with the oil, because we don't want anything to char while it's roasting in the oven. We kind of want it to just get moist and all cooked together. After you've got everything mixed in nice and well, we're going to add in some fresh thyme. This is grown right outside in my garden. Everything we want to try to do fresh. If you grow your own onions, even better. We want to make sure everything is in its natural state. From here we've got our thyme, our onions, our garlic, our sugar. We're going to generously season with some salt and some fresh cracked pepper. Okay, now that we've got everything all mixed together well and coated with the oil, we're going to take it and put it in our oven that we've already got preheated at 425 degrees. We're going to leave it in there for about 20 to 25 minutes. Make sure everything's cooked through and through. Okay, it's been about 25 minutes, so we're going to want to go into the oven and take a look at our tomatoes and see how they're coming along. What we're looking for is called caramelization. It's when the tops of the tomatoes and the onions start to turn just a little bit brown. It's not charring. Oh, look at that. This is beautiful. See, charring it would be black and burnt. This is just starting to turn brown, and you see how the onions up in here are just turning that golden brown color. That's perfect. Exactly what we want. What we want to do now is sprinkle in a little handful of fresh basil, also out of my garden. We're going to mix it up a little bit here, and we're going to put it back in the oven for just about 3 minutes. Let that basil kind of get in there a little bit and all blend together. This is perfect. Welcome back. During the break, we took our roasted tomatoes out of the oven and we combined them in the stock pot here with 4 cups of chicken stock that we already had simmering on the stove. I also added 3 sun-dried tomatoes and we boiled that up for about 5 more minutes. Then we took the mixture, we strained it, and we took the tomatoes and the onions and the garlic and we put them into the blender and we blended it all up. Reintroduced the chicken stock and blended it to this creamy consistency. What we want to do now, just to finish it off, is we're going to take our mixture and we're going to strain it one more time. What we're looking to do is shake out all those little impurities, all those little bits and pieces of tomato, all that leftover thyme, anything in here that's just not really going to taste well in our soup. Once everything's strained back into the stock pot, we're going to want to taste it. Make sure it doesn't need any additional seasoning. Oh yeah, that's exactly where we want it to be. So we're going to leave that on the stove, let it simmer up a little bit, and we're going to want to get back to our grilled cheese. So for our grilled cheese sandwich, we're going to start with a couple pieces of potato bread, something just to change it up a little bit, and we're going to spread a little bit of clarified butter on the outside. I like to brush the butter on because it spreads a little bit more even. From there, we're going to add a couple pieces of smoked provolone cheese. Me, I like grilled cheese cheesy, so we're going to add 2 pieces to each side of the bread. Inside, we're also going to put a little bit of this bacon that we have cooked off here. We went with a hickory smoked bacon just to give it a little bit better of a flavor. We'll add this right over to our hot pan. That's already waiting for us. We're going to want this to brown a little bit on each side, just giving enough time for that cheese to melt. Okay, perfect. Let's check our grilled cheese. This is exactly what we want it to look like on both sides. So we're going to remove it from the heat, take it over here, and we're just going to let our grilled cheese sit here for a moment, let it rest, let that cheese finish melting. Beautiful. And that's our roasted tomato soup with smoked provolone and bacon grilled cheese sandwich. I'm Chris Kowalczyk, and thank you for joining me in my kitchen.